I'd like to call the Transportation Committee meeting to order, Tuesday, January 12th, 2010. Madam Secretary, let it know Mr. Kluwat is on his way. All members are present. Mr. Todd Lambert's going to lead us in the invocation, followed by the pledge.
Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here tonight to make some decisions to help our highways become more safer. And thank you for this warmer weather that we are receiving today after the cold snap that we just went through. And we ask this in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anyone wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign in with Ms. Liz. Moving to number 4, Road Department Monthly Report, Ms. Jackie.
Before you will see the monthly report for December. Cleaned out culverts and ditches that were cleaned totaled 4,090 feet. And additional work orders completed were 154 work orders, and the detailed list is before you. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Lambert.
Ms. Jackie, just a clarification on District 9. We got Beco Road on there, comes up pretty regular. Beco is not, that's in Randy's district.
I will have the work
I know
order
it pops up
added to
on
you.
9th District pretty regular, but Beco is in Randy's district.
Thank
Just
you
to
for
clarify.
that.
Ms. Liz. Any other discussion on the monthly report? Then we'll move into number 5, road project status, Ms. Jackie.
For our update, Westworthy Road, actually the pre-construction was held today with the contractor to coordinate the beginning of tree removal and fence removal on Westworthy. So we're really excited about that project kicking off this month. On Roddy Road, the widening project, the right-of-way acquisition is more than 50% complete. More than 50% of the parcels are acquired. So it's actually more than 50% of the work. In the agenda later tonight is the 2 parcels that require home purchases. So we're getting to the end of the parcel acquisition for Roddy Road. On the Roddy Road, turn lane at Airline, Entergy pole and utility relocations are complete. And we also had that pre-construction meeting today. The contractor plans to start and mobilize his equipment on January 25th. So when we get an exact date for that road closure, we're going to advertise the closure of that road. For our 2 turn lanes on Airline at 621 and at 929, we're finalizing the right-of-way offers that are in negotiations at this time. LA 932 and 933, the offer letters are prepared for the landowners. So we're getting deep into negotiations on that project as well. For Cannon Road, the survey crews began surveying the 2 pieces of drainage, roadside drainage that we're going to design in-house, so that survey is underway. Parker Road at 929, our roundabout, that's the LTAP grant. The preliminary design and utility coordination has begun, and we just set up, just yesterday, a public meeting, an informative meeting to explain what a roundabout is and let the people know about the project. That meeting is going to be February 10th at 6 p.m. at Prairieville Primary in the cafeteria. I'm just starting to publicize that because we just set it up. This will be the first meeting. At the end of the project, we'll have another meeting with the public on how to drive through a roundabout and the details of it. So I'm excited to see the roundabout project really kick off. Last on the status, I've added some state projects just so everyone knows what is coming up on DOTD roads. Within the next 6 months, they will let the Amite River Relief Bridge on LA 42, LA 73 mill and overlay from Airline Highway to Bayou Manchac, the LA 73 widening from I-10 to Airline, LA 44 sidewalk project, which is constructing sidewalks on the east side of 44 from Airline to 621. There's an intersection improvement at LA 22 and Airline, and a sidewalk project along Bayou Francois, which is actually in the city limits. So just so you have an idea, that's the letting schedule from the state for the next 6 months.
Mr. President?
We finalized the 73 today at the MPO meeting, so that's good news. We got the whole road going to get done, and also received recently a letter from Secretary Ankner on the, I guess it's the Joseph Ario Road, that they agreed to the terms there. So as soon as they get that road taken in, but that's done, so you can tell Ms. Cannon that
Appreciate that.
that it's formal now, that they've signed off on it, and it's a done deal. So,
Right,
and also going to ask Jackie in some talks today with DOTD people to please get with Ms. Dawn Schulmeyer. I think we can get a couple more of these zero-stage studies done on some turn lanes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Good news. Councilman Lambert?
Yeah, Parish President, on this highway with Joyce Severio, the big issue that we had with the big ditch on the, I guess would be the northern end, is that resolved? They plan on doing something with that ditch before we take it over?
That's the way it is until we decide that that's what we want, and if they've done everything.
Okay. I know it's right on the edge of the road,
Part
so,
of it, yeah.
okay. It's all part of the
Part our
negotiation. Okay.
request when we,
And, okay. One other thing, Jackie, I know I talked to you earlier in the week about Cannon Road, and to explain exactly what's taking place. You know, we originally talked about covering, more like a curving gutter from the bridge to Roddy, but I talked to Ronnie also, and being it's a sewer issue with all the trunk lines, that we cannot do that. So what we're doing is just doing the more safety issues right at the bridge and a little bit further, I guess, west of Roddy, another section there also. Is that correct?
That's correct. What problem we run into is it is against DHH regulations for us to take these individual sewer effluent lines and put them into a closed pipe. When we pipe the ditch, we would be closing in their sewer effluent ditch, and it's multiple houses. I know it happens every now and again, one house or two houses, but as a parish, we can't go in and pipe that entire ditch.
Okay.
So
I just
that-
want to clear that up with you. A lot of people are looking at that. Thank you.
Councilman Joseph?
Mr. President, I'm looking at the state project listing, and I know that's been up there, and I know at one time we had talked about putting a turn lane on Highway 1 South and the Sunbeam Bridge. What was the status of that? I mean, are we still working on it, or the state just denied us on that?
State denied us on that. Probably 2 or 3 times that we've requested it, but you know, we still need to look at it, and if nothing else, maybe we need to do what we've done on some of these turn lanes, maybe talk to the state and see if we can do something as
Yeah.
a parish government.
Yeah, because it becoming a problem, and I
It is, I know. I totally agree with you.
so that's the only thing, if we can just keep that one on the list and try to work something out in the future on it.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much.
Councilman Lowell?
Mr. President, I want to thank you and Jackie and Ronnie and your administration, everyone involved with obtaining the funding for Old Jefferson, that overlay. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten calls about the road and it's deteriorating. So that's a fantastic job of locking up the funding. Thank you.
If we can get some more roads shovel-ready, as they say, state roads, or some federal roads that would be ready to go, we feel like there's going to be a second round. We were told that today in the MPO meeting. There'll probably be a second round of stimulus money. So, again, if we work hard and look for those projects, maybe we can get something done there. Also, encourage them to look at the bike path situation on the levee. We had talked about that at 100 miles from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. So I don't know how far along that project is. We had worked with Punch Train Levee Board. if we can get that part of it at least eligible, to get done, that's also gonna add some recreation stuff to the parish, hopefully, so.
Any other discussion? We'll move into number 6, approval of balance change order number 1. Ms. Jackie?
The change order before you is an amount of $43,902.68. We are asking approval for this change order. What we did, while we had a contractor working on Seabro Road, we had received several requests for safety striping, like edge striping the entire length of the roadway. While they were already having a pavement marking sub there, we asked them to add that to the contract. In addition to that pavement marking addition, there was base failures on another road that we needed repaired that's out of our scope, out of our capability internally. We had those repaired at the same time by the contractor. So it's legitimate work that we asked them to do that we were unable to do. So we're asking approval for it.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
By Councilman Joseph. Discussion? None, motion passed. Number 7, purchase of property. Ms. Jackie?
This is the first of 2 total takings on Roddy Road for the widening of Roddy. This is for purchase of property from and pavement of relocation benefits to Danny J. Roussel for an amount not to exceed $230,000. Before you, we tried to break it down and explain the value of the land and structures is $141,620. The relocation housing, as per federal regulations, when you relocate someone from their home, we have said in all incidental costs not to exceed $88,380. So when you total that, we're at $230,000. The landowner has accepted the offer. They're agreeable to this offer, and we are asking your approval for that.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert,
Second it, I have a question.
second by Councilman Joseph. Discussion. Joseph?
Mr. Press, I mean, we know this gonna start coming up and we're gonna have to buy this land. And this is, we'll budget this money already. Have we calculated this in it? This is nothing that falling out the norm.
So we put it in the budget for this year.
Okay.
That's correct. We had estimated the total right-of-way on Roddy for this phase to be around the $500,000 to $600,000 range. What we didn't purchase in '09, we budgeted in 2010. So this amount is covered in the 2010 budget for right-of-way.
And for the future, we're just gonna start putting out money in the budget for,
Right-of-way.
okay, that's all.
Jackie,
Yes,
the
sir.
structure that's on here, what sort of house? I mean, I'm not familiar with each one of these.
Mr. Roussel's house has a home and a shed, several sheds. All of those structures are included in that cost. I think it's like a mechanic shop.
So what do we do with these structures at this point?
They're going to be removed.
All the structures, the house?
That's
too?
correct.
Okay.
And who's going to remove them?
We will remove them with clearing and grub, during our clearing and grubbing contract. They will remove the trees, fences, any obstructions in what we buy is going to be removed.
Councilman Lambert?
Yeah, Ms. Jackie, is this buying his whole parcel or just part of it? Because it's got a pretty good corner lot right there.
You want to come? I'm going to ask the right-of-way consultant to
Okay.
come up to make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing on that.
I know he has probably maybe an acre of property right there.
Good evening. Nathan Crawford with our office has been handling this one. It's my recollection that Mr. Roussel will be maintaining some of the remaining land on this one. The other one you'll see is, I believe, going to be a total taking.
Okay. So we buying enough property to go into his house is basically why we have
Yes,
to
sir. Both of these
take
that
his
you'll
house
hear
down.
tonight were actually.
Are we actually buying all of his house or just a partial?
All of it.
Okay. 'Cause
we
if you
would
buy
have
all of
looked-
his house, that's gonna take over half his property. That's why I
Right.
was wondering what y'all was gonna do with that last little piece.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Councilman, finish.
Yeah.
Councilman Kluwer?
Yeah, basically, I was gonna ask the same thing that Todd was asking. And on these places, when we buy out, I mean, in the past, you know, for various reasons we bought out, is there any money that can be brought back to the table? I know that's what Tommy was asking. If it was a house off the ground, can you sell it, you know? Or if it's a metal building, if it's something that can be resold, you know, is there a salvage value on anything there?
What we've looked at it for these two homes, and understand, in these two cases, the right-of-way of the road actually goes into the house. So it's not one of these, we're close to the house, it's in the house. So we have to take the house down. However, we have discussed in the sale of the land, you know, selling the land to neighbor, you know, maybe the neighboring home would want to buy the land to extend their property. So we intend to declare what we don't need surplus and then go forth and sell it. There's no need for us to keep the entire, what extra land that we don't need. But we aren't buying his whole parcel. We have to buy his house, though, and what's under his house.
So you don't anticipate any surplus land here?
No, not in this case.
Okay.
Discussion?
I guess in my short experience here for 2 years, that getting close to the home is the same as getting in the home. What we've seen on Roddy Road, Joseph Ario, what we've seen out on Westworthy. So, and we're staying within the market on that, on these things.
They've
Natalie?
accepted appraised value, if that's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no increase beyond the appraisal. They've accepted that appraised value.
Thank you.
Councilman Jordan?
I just asked a question. We are purchasing these areas, and we know we are growing, and population is growing, and are we making sure that we have enough property for any other widening in the future? If we buy it cheap now and just in have property, I know we just say surplus, but I mean, it's a very busy area and it's growing very rapidly. Just to make sure that we do, if we buying, that we're buying for future, widening of the road. I mean, you know, that's all. Are we looking at it from that standpoint when we do purchase this land?
To answer that question, our hope for the future, and this has to go hand in hand with sewer, but our hope within staff, planning and DPW, would be that we would not have open ditches when we have sewer. If we were to go to a curb and gutter section today, and we had a gravity sewer system, we wouldn't need extra right-of-way because we buy a lot of land for these open ditches. So what we buy, we could put a curb and gutter street with 3 lanes in, but we waste, per se, a lot of land on open ditches today.
Okay.
If you did parish-wide sewer and you closed in your ditches, you would solve half your drainage problems in Ascension Parish. I will assure you that would happen. But again, as you see, this is a very, very expensive endeavor. We're looking at Roddy Road becoming, and that's why we went to the state, a main artery here on the east side of Ascension Parish. And that's what we're trying to do here. We need to have one main artery, and this one will take you from 42 all the way to Airline and open up that area. So that's the goal, and that's the reasoning we are doing what we're doing. We're taking it sections at a time, and hopefully at some point we can afford to do the entire road and do what we need to do.
Councilman Law?
Jackie, how many parcels do we have left?
Right now, we have these 2 total with home purchases that you see tonight, and we have 4 parcels that are potential expropriations that we've gone back and forth to the point where we're not going to agree without going to court. And there's 1 other. So beyond these 2, there's 5. 4 for expropriation, and 1 that's in sheriff seized the home. So we have to take a little bit different track to buy what we need. But other than those 5, these 2 and those 5, that would get us 100% for this phase of Roddy Road.
Okay, great.
Any other discussion on this purchase of property? We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? None. Motion passed. Number 8, another purchase of property. Ms. Jackie?
Item 8 is purchase of property from and payment of relocation benefits to Gloria Duplessis Hidalgo for an amount not to exceed $150,000. As we broke down in the last item, we've done again, value of land and structures, $117,500. Relocation housing supplement and all incidentals not to exceed $32,500. And I want to, just so everyone knows, in this case, Miss Hidalgo's home, just like last case, there was a piece of land left over. Miss Hidalgo's home, if we would just take the home, remains a small strip of land which by federal rule is considered an uneconomic remainder. Therefore, we are required to offer her purchase for that whole piece because it's such a small sliver of land that would be left over. So understand in this one, we have to buy her lot.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Lohr. Any discussion? None, motion passed.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert to adjourn, second by Councilman Joseph. Thank you, have a good night.